Imagine waking up to a world where your popularity isn't just a social status, but a literal matter of life and death. For most people, being a streamer is a dream of fame and fortune, but for Haruichi Kageyama, it was a desperate crawl for survival. In a cramped one-room apartment smelling of instant ramen and broken dreams, welcome back to Story Panel Channel, where today we are diving into an epic tale of a zero ranker who went from being a laughingstock of the internet to the most influential player in a realm ruled by gods and monsters. This is the story of the Noob streamer trapped in another world. Haruichi wasn't your typical charismatic idol, with messy black hair, dark circles under his eyes that could rival a panda's, and a social battery that died after saying hello. He was the definition of an underdog. His streaming career was, to put it bluntly, a disaster. While top-tier streamers were pulling in millions of views playing the latest VR titles, Haruichi, known online as Harudan, was lucky if he got 2 viewers. And one of them was usually his own phone, checking for lag. He spent his nights playing obscure, punishingly difficult indie games, hoping for a big break that never came. His bank account was screaming in agony. His landlord was pounding on the door for rent. And his only companion was a mechanical keyboard with a sticking W key. One rainy Tuesday, Haruichi stumbled upon a link in a shady dark web forum titled The Final Stream: Real Stakes, Real Rewards. Thinking it was just another niche horror game, he clicked it. Instantly, his monitor didn't just flicker, it bled. A viscous golden light spilled from the pixels, coating his desk and swallowing his room. Before he could even scream, the laws of physics shattered. His small apartment dissolved into a vortex of data fragments and ancient runes. When Haruichi finally opened his eyes, he wasn't in his room anymore. He was lying on a bed of glowing blue grass under a sky that featured 3 moons. But what was more shocking than the landscape was the translucent blue rectangle floating inches from his nose. It looked exactly like his OBS streaming interface, but with a terrifying twist. System initializing. A cold, feminine voice echoed in his head.
Haruichi Kageyama, クラス、ダイメンショナルストリーマー、ランク F、カレントビューアー0、ステータス、アトリスクで削除。
Haruichi scrambled to his feet, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He looked around and saw a vast medieval-style forest where the trees seemed to be whispering his name. He checked his hands. They were his own, but he was wearing a strange lightweight tunic and a belt equipped with a small floating orb that looked like a high-tech camera drone. "Is this a prank?" he whispered, his voice trembling. Immediately, the floating screen flickered. A notification popped up. First comment received. User Voidwalker says, "Look at this loser. Is he seriously crying already?" Dislike. Haruichi stared in horror. He wasn't just in another world. He was being broadcasted to an audience of transcendent beings from across the multiverse. In this world known as Ethelgard, your power was directly tied to your influence level. If your stream was boring, you lost viewers. If you lost viewers, your stats dropped. If your viewer count hit 0, the system would simply terminate the account, along with the streamer's life. Panic set in as he realized his viewer count was currently sitting at 1, the Voidwalker guy, who clearly hated him. Suddenly, a low growl erupted from the bushes. A Shadowfang wolf, a beast made of literal darkness with eyes like burning coals, stepped into the clearing. In any other manhwa, the protagonist would have a secret sword skill or a hidden mana pool. Haruichi? He had a selfie stick and a panic attack. "Warning," the system chimed. "High-level threat detected. Viewer engagement is dropping. If you die without a follow, your soul will be recycled. Recommendation? Do something entertaining." "Entertaining? I'm about to be lunch," Haruichi yelled, turning and sprinting in the opposite direction. As he ran, his camera drone, which he dubbed Kuro, buzzed excitedly behind him, capturing every stumble and every terrified gasp in high definition. The comments started rolling in. User Chaos Queen says, "Lemamo, look at him run. His form is terrible. 10 gold coins says the wolf catches him in 30 seconds. Youth these days have no backbone. Back in my day, we fought wolves with our bare teeth." The gold coins mentioned by the viewers actually materialized. Small, sparkling sparks of light flew from the screen and entered Haruichi's channel wallet. Notification: you have received 10 divine credits from Chaos Queen. Open the donation shop? Yes! Open it! Open anything! Haruichi screamed as the wolf's hot breath tickled his heels. A holographic shop menu appeared. Most items were locked behind subscriber milestones, but there was a newbie gotcha box available for exactly 10 credits. With a literal leap of faith, Haruichi hit the purchase button. The box spun in the air, glowing with a rainbow light. Haruichi prayed for a legendary sword, an impenetrable shield, or maybe a fireball spell. Item acquired: the flashbang of embarrassment. Haruichi grabbed at the small, round object. It wasn't a weapon. It was a glitter bomb filled with high-intensity magical light. "Are you kidding me?" he cried out. But the wolf was mid-leap, its jaws wide enough to crush his skull. With no other choice, Haruichi slammed the flashbang onto the ground. Boom! A massive explosion of pink glitter and blinding white light filled the forest. The Shadowfang wolf whimpered, completely disoriented and covered in sparkling dust. Haruichi, however, didn't stop to admire the view. He scrambled up a nearby tree, his lungs burning. Viewer count 15! User Voidwalker says, "Wait, did he just glitter bomb a shadow wolf? That's so stupid, it's actually kind of funny." Followed. User Mage of the West says, "The aesthetics are surprisingly good. Let's see if he survives the night." Haruichi slumped against a branch, gasping for air. The system interface glowed brightly. Level up. Current level 2. Reward, basic map, and comment interaction skill unlocked. He realized then that this world wasn't about being the strongest warrior. It was about being the best content creator. He was a noob streamer, yes, but he was the only one who knew the meta of the internet. To survive Ethelgard, he would have to treat every monster encounter like a viral video and every boss fight like a season finale. As the suns began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the bluegrass, Haruichi looked into the camera lens of his drone. His eyes, once dull and defeated, sparked with a new, frantic energy. "All right, you guys," he whispered, wiping glitter off his face. "If you want to see me survive this nightmare, hit that like button and subscribe. Because tomorrow, we're going hunting." The screen flickered with GG and hype emotes as Haruichi settled in for his first night in a world where his life was the show and the entire multiverse was watching. He knew this was only the beginning. He wasn't just Harudan anymore. He was the man who would stream his way to the throne of gods. But first, he really needed to find some food that wasn't made of glitter or magic. The forest grew quiet, but the chat stayed active. Little did Haruichi know, his clumsy escape had already caught the eye of a certain administrator who didn't like streamers messing with the balance of her world. The real game was just starting, and the stakes were higher than any sub-goal he had ever imagined. Stay tuned to Story Panel Channel as we follow Haruichi's journey into the heart of Ethelgard in the next part of this epic saga. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of violet and deep gold, Haruichi finally stumbled upon the outskirts of Lumina Regis, the crown jewel of the Ethelgard kingdom. To any other traveler, the towering white marble walls and the glowing mana lamps would be a sight of wonder. To Haruichi, it was a massive content opportunity. His floating chat window was blowing up. The noob streamer wasn't just a meme anymore. He was a phenomenon. His viewer count had spiked to 50,000 concurrent users, all of them screaming in the chat about the realistic graphics and the insane world building. Haruichi tried to act cool, adjusting his tattered hoodie, which was now officially recognized by the world system as Initiate's garb of the digital wanderer. He approached the massive city gates, where two guards clad in enchanted silver armor stood watch. Their eyes narrowed as they looked at the floating translucent screens surrounding Haruichi, screens they shouldn't be able to see. Yet they felt a strange humming energy emanating from them. "Halt, traveler," one guard commanded, his hand resting on the hilt of a sword that pulsed with blue light. "What is your business in Lumina Regis? And what is this sorcery hovering around your head?" Haruichi panicked for a second. He couldn't exactly tell them he was a streamer from another dimension. "Ah, I'm a traveling bard. Yes, a bard of the visual arts. This is just my visual loot." The chat scrolled by at light speed. LMAO? Visual loot? This MC is so cooked. Donation incoming. Let's see if he can bribe them. Suddenly, a notification pinged in Haruichi's ear. A viewer named Whale_Lord99 had donated 5,000 star shards. In Haruichi's world, that was a lot of money. In Ethelgard, the system converted it instantly. A small velvet pouch materialized in Haruichi's hand, heavy with the clinking of pure gold coins. The guard's eyes widened. The visual loot had just conjured gold out of thin air. Realizing that this noob might actually be a high-ranking mage in disguise, they cleared the path immediately, bowing slightly. Haruichi walked into the city, his heart hammering against his ribs. He was safe for now, but the administrator he had sensed earlier wasn't going to let him slide that easily. Deep within a sanctuary made of crystalline data streams, the administrator, a woman named Lady Seraphina, watched Haruichi on a dozen floating mirrors. She was the guardian of Ethelgard's balance, and Haruichi was a glitch that shouldn't exist. He was bringing outer world logic into her perfect fantasy simulation. "He is gathering faith from a world beyond our own," Seraphina whispered, her eyes glowing with a cold, pale light. "This chat he speaks to, they are like gods providing him with mana he hasn't earned. Send Kaito. Tell him to moderate this streamer. If he cannot be deleted, he must be contained." Back in the bustling markets of Lumina Regis, Haruichi was having the time of his life. He was using his donations to buy mana-infused ramen and cloud-soft silks. He was even doing a live mukbang for his viewers, describing the taste of dragon meat skewers as spicy, with a hint of electricity. But the fun was cut short. The air in the marketplace suddenly turned freezing. The bustling crowd went silent as a man stepped through the shadows. He wore sleek black armor with crimson accents, a massive nodachi strapped to his back. This was Kaito of the Iron Rose, the administrator's top enforcer. In gamer terms, he was the level 99 world boss sent to crush a level 5 noob. "Haruichi," Kaito's voice echoed, cold and sharp. "You are an unauthorized entity. By the will of the administrator, your stream ends here." The chat went wild. "Boss fight! Rip Haruichi. It was a good run. Use the super chat special move." Haruichi backed away, his legs shaking. "Wait, I'm just a content creator. Think of the engagement. Think of the reach." Kaito didn't care about reach. He drew his blade, and the ground beneath him cracked. He moved like a blur of shadow. Haruichi, acting on pure instinct and the frantic advice of his top-tier subscribers in the chat, dived behind a fruit stall. "System!" Haruichi screamed. "Is there a beginner's protection or something?" Alert! Viewership milestone reached. 100,000 live viewers. Reward: the clickbait shield and the gamer's reflex passive skill unlocked. As Kaito's blade descended to cleave Haruichi in two, a golden barrier shaped like a giant play button manifested in front of him. The sword clashed against the barrier, sending sparks of pure data flying into the air. Kaito recoiled, his eyes wide with shock. No one in Ethelgard had ever blocked his strike before. Haruichi felt a surge of energy. His gamer's reflex kicked in, slowing down time just enough for him to see the weak points on Kaito's armor, highlighted in bright red, just like in an RPG. "Listen, guys," Haruichi whispered to his floating camera, a newfound confidence in his eyes. "If this video gets 1 million likes, I'll take down this boss right now. Let's show this world what a noob streamer can really do." He didn't fight like a knight, he fought like a gamer. He threw lag grenades, items purchased via chat donations that slowed down the enemy's movements, and used glitch steps to teleport short distances. Kaido was frustrated, swinging his sword at a target that seemed to flicker in and out of reality. The administrator watching from her throne was losing her mind. Haruichi wasn't just surviving. He was turning the most serious duel in the kingdom's history into a comedy skit for his viewers. With one final, ultimate donation from his fans, Haruichi summoned a massive spectral keyboard that slammed down on Kaito, pinning the enforcer to the cobblestones. The moderator had been banned. The crowd in the marketplace erupted in cheers, though they didn't quite understand what they had just witnessed. Haruichi stood over his defeated opponent, breathing hard, his hair messy, but his smile wide. He looked directly into his floating camera. "And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you handle a hater," Haruichi said, winking. "We're just getting started in Ethelgard. There are more bosses to cheese, more loot to find, and a whole world to entertain. I'm Haruichi, the noob streamer, and I'm not logging off until I'm the king of this world." The screen in his world flickered to a "thanks for watching" graphic as he finally ended the stream for the day. Collapsing onto a nearby bench, exhausted but richer than he ever was in his past life, he knew Seraphina would be back. He knew Ethelgard held many more dangers. But as long as he had his chat and his story panel, he felt invincible. And that concludes the incredible first arc of Haruichi's journey. From a struggling creator in a small apartment to a legendary digital wanderer in the magical realm of Ethelgard, his adventure has only just begun. Will the administrator find a way to permanently delete him, or will Haruichi's noob tactics eventually rewrite the very laws of this world? If you enjoyed this epic manhwa-style recap and want to see more of Haruichi's journey, or if you have ideas for the next world we should trap a character in, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support is what keeps this channel going, and we've got plenty more exclusive stories, character breakdowns, and hidden gems coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter of the saga, right here on Story Panel Channel. Stay legendary and keep those stories turning.